What are you filming this for? What am I going to pick?
For a blog.
Okay.
Yeah, and the first question is what's your educational background?
I started with a degree in textile marketing. And then I went to work for a company called Carrymore who made rucksacks and had just started making clothing because fleece had arrived that year. And so I got to get involved right from the beginning with performance garments and performance fabrics.
So you talk as though you're a combination chemist, physicist, whatever. You just picked that. Yeah, you just picked that up on the fly.
On the hoof, yes. I learned just enough to get by. I wouldn't claim to be an expert in any of those areas, but I know an awful lot of them.
And the other thing that interested me was you were working for this company, and you said one day you just said, "I want to be my own boss," or what?
Well, it wasn't so much I want to be my own boss. I've worked with some really interesting people, and there I'd actually built the business up from scratch. It's out for a year. It was me in a room with a phone, calling all these people I'd worked with before, saying, "Okay, well, these guys used to make fabric for you. We want to make garments now. I'm setting up sourcing chains and factories." And by the end of that year, we had about 20 people in the company in the UK and abroad, and they were doing all the fun stuff. I was negotiating contracts, I was setting things up, I was managing people and contracts. And I was further away from, at the beginning of that, I was making Ben Ainsley's underpants and making new technologies for BMW Oracle for the America's Cup race. By the end of those 12, 18 months, I was managing people and arguing with customs.
So you would call that like a creative process to bring people and materials and processes together?
It is dry.
That's exactly what it is. The bit that I enjoy is the challenge of creating something new and the challenge of doing something disruptive, doing something totally new and creating brand new products. So I'd done that for a lot of my career when I was working directly with clients, and as I was successful in doing that, you get promoted, you become a manager. And I realised I actually am rubbish as a manager because I have such high expectations that my staff would never live up to them. I got on very well with them. Lots of them are still very close friends now, but yeah, they'd be the first to say, "Yeah, you were better at doing than managing, Kat." So that's I'm quite happy to take that criticism because I like doing.
Do you think technology is accelerating, or what's your perception of what's happening? Is it you see big things happening more rapidly, or is it?
I think what's happened is it's been a long, slow process, and over the last 5 years there are more enabling technologies around, and there are more people in this supply chain who are willing to adapt their technologies or their processes for not necessarily the wearables electronics market, but smart clothing in general. So it's an area where people see sports clothing even as commodity items. There's either the elite athlete items or there's commodity items. I was sitting next to a guy yesterday who was saying, well, I can go and buy a compression top in Target for $20 or something. Well, okay, you could do that. That's why people won't invest in this side of the business. But you can do that when it's made in Bangladesh or Vietnam or China. And there's ethical implications to doing that too. So it's not all about achieving the price point, but if we can get that tipping point right between the volume of orders that we can generate and the manufacturing capacity, prices will start to come down, things will start to become more acceptable. And as I say, I think it gets really interesting then when in a couple of years' time we start to put things in your everyday clothing. And then all of a sudden this isn't a sensor that you have to buy and a whole system. Why can't you just buy your normal bra and your normal briefs and have them talk to whichever devices you choose? That's what I think.
So one last thing, what would you like to say I achieved, at the end of my career, what was my... What do I want to brag about?
What do I want to brag about? To be honest, I don't think it's necessarily achieving. I want to be able to say I did some interesting stuff and I got to do a lot of it. So it's doing the interesting stuff that motivates me I don't want to build an empire. I want to enjoy myself, and licensing some products and developing some IP along the way will help me do more of it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So can we turn this one on?
Of course we can. I'm sorry.
You know why? Because it's a lighted item and a Freescale.
Because his head is basically here. So I think he did. My name is Adam Smith Kipnis, and our team's website is hackcouture.io.
Okay.
And what this does is has.
So this is sort of like the prototype for the deployment in like 2015, right? Sort of, kind of?
I think Morgan could speak better to what Plantronics plans
We
are.
don't have any concrete release plans for this wearable concept one at this time.
Yeah, but you'll also, I mean, obviously we're going to trickle down all this technology into other products. I mean, that's what we're doing, which is innovation.
Right. So you were preparing for the hackathon and you're like, what am I going to do?
Well, actually, I got together with a bunch of friends, and we had a lot of ideas, and we knew there was going to be some new technology there, and we weren't sure how we were going to use it. So we just brought a bunch of materials, and when we got there, said, all right, well, we got this thing, what could we do with it? And we had conducted thread, we had conducted fabric, we had two mobile developers, we had an electrical engineer, we had a computer security guy, and who specializes in web tech. So we've got a web server running on this microcontroller here, and it's just connected over Wi-Fi to this phone.
What is your ultimate dream? Do you want to be a cyberpunk or Iron Man?
Well, I think the ultimate dream is to turn the glove into a platform and bring it back to its where it started, and that is at a hackathon. What I would love to see is this developed into a fully functioning product, and to see what other people do with this as a platform. I think that would be very exciting.
So are you an open source kind of guy?
Well, I use whatever the best tools are to achieve whatever it is that I'm trying to achieve. So, I mean, I don't jump into the realm of politics when it comes to open source versus closed source. But I have to say that the access that Plantronics gave us was great. They had algorithms that detected head nodding. They also exposed all of the raw data to us. So if we wanted to interpret that in our own ways, we would be able to do that.
But if you could have anything you wanted, any kind of wearable technology, what would it look like?
What would it look like? Well, the thing that I would love right now is to have a glove that was completely made of fabric and would be the sort of thing that men would wear, that women would wear, that people would wear for the active lifestyles, and would also enable them to communicate better with one another and also interact with virtual environments as well as they're able to interact
And a little cat.
Okay, and are these friends of yours?
These are the folks from Plantronics.
They're what?
These folks
Oh,
work
those are
at
Plantronics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, they are friends.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Sure.